Oh, what's going on, everybody? How's it going? How's it going? How's it going? That's what I gotta say. We're back again with NFL Week 15 picks. 15! Week 15! This feels like the season has went by so quickly. Goodness. And we're gonna do introductions because we got a new guest. That's the main reason why we're doing introductions. I think you know who I am. My name is DJ Beal. It's down there right there. And the Twitter is down there as well at Beast Mode 123100. So feel free to follow me if you'd like. We're going to be talking about Week 15 picks. And we're going to also go back and review our Week 14 picks and what went down, how we did, at least me and Casey. And Josh is going to give his input too. So Casey, go ahead and introduce you because they've been living under rocks and such.
Well, I'm Casey, and I personally think we should just head all the way to the Super Bowl because we all know who's going to win the Super Bowl. It's going to be the Indianapolis Colts. But, I guess we gotta do all the technical stuff like the playoffs and all that. Ooh. But yeah, follow me on Twitter. And I'll talk to you even though nobody has followed me on Twitter. So, people, come on. Like, I don't know you're there if you don't follow me.
All right, Josh. Who are you, man? Who is this Josh Sawyer's fella? Who is him? Who he be?
My name's Josh. I'm a 20-year-old communications major at UVA Wise, and I like to talk about sports. I'm with my man Casey. I'm a Colts fan, and I don't really agree with this playoff stuff either, because we're just gonna dominate, boomstick, Papa Ghost. We're gonna get lucky, you know. So that's enough about me. Let's talk some sports.
All right. So
Why
we're
didn't you
ready.
bring him before? Just saying. Why just now?
You
Why?
know what? I was talking to him and I was like, wait a minute. Josh is a big sports fan, and I was like, wait a minute. He might want to do these videos. Maybe, just maybe. So that's really what made me think about it. And I was like, maybe I should just have him on, just maybe. So the corner came and he was a part of the corner. So we had to turn it. We had to turn it. Especially since um, we have a hard time keeping guests all the time. So it's always fun to have other people in as well. I think Josh is going to be a normal guy around here. I could see it happening. But as for Week 14, do you have the records for Week 14 for us two?
Uh, sure. Yeah, I have it on my trusty little phone thingamabobber. Uh, and I'm just gonna go through. I'm not gonna go through necessarily how we did last week, but we're gonna start off with the best game of the week, and that happened to have been the Colts versus the poop colored team, Browns. Sorry. Um, but yeah, it was a close game. 25-24, but we pulled it out like we always do every time, you know. And there's really not much else to say. I will pass it to the next person, whoever that may be. I
All
don't.
right, Josh. What was your thoughts uh, on the Colts game? Since we're going to start with the Colts.
I think it was a really ugly win, but it was a win. And Andrew Luck had his 12th game-winning drive, which really sealed it off and kind of defines Andrew Luck's personality as a player. I think that's the way the Colts win football games, and the W is a W. Alabama.
I think this game was really ugly. Um, and I was like, I really don't know who I want to lose here when I was watching this game because I was like, if the Browns lose, it's helping the AFC North out and pushing them down a little bit more. But if the Colts lose, my getting closer division that I want to happen, this Houston Texans team that's on the rise, baby. The Houston Texans team that I think is gonna, may come out with this division. Just want to throw that out there. I was actually thinking that this could make that come true a little bit, or at least get a little closer. But I was happy that the Colts won. I really was, because it did help the AFC North a little bit. Um, I don't know about this Super Bowl thing that y'all are talking about. We should just skip straight to the Super Bowl and put the Colts in it, because I don't know. No, we should not do that, because they need the playoffs. They should, they need the playoffs. They need to, prove themselves a little bit, I would think. They did win against the Chiefs in a big comeback win last year, but I still think they have a lot to prove.
What you were saying about the Texans, J.J. Watt is leading that team, but Fitzpatrick is not going to take him to the division title. He's just not good enough to beat the Colts.
Come on, man. Come on, the Harvard grad. Come on, the Harvard grad.
He's got a perfect, glorious beard, but that's not enough to win you football games. They can't come back and win the title just because of that reason.
I know what it is. He's lacking a Neard. That's the main thing. He's lacking the Andrew Luck Neard. I understand. I see where you're going.
The Neard is pivotal to victory. It's it's a little thing, and people kind of overlook it, but it's there. Anyway, since me and DJ were the only ones here last week, we both picked the Colts to win, and we were right. They won. I guess I'm taking over the going through them, since I'm the only one ready for the show as usual. God, DJ's never ready for the show.
I just don't. It was your job, though. Your job was to keep track of what was going on. That's all. That's all. I am ready. I am here right now.
All I'm hearing is wah, wah, wah. Anyway. Now, next we have the Chiefs versus the Cardinals. Let's see. Who did we pick? I picked the Chiefs, and DJ picked the Cardinals to win. It was a fluke, and the Cardinals won, but... So, any team that wins against a team that I pick, it's a fluke. That's how it goes down. I didn't really get to see much of this game because I worked. So, but what I saw, it was an okay game. The Cardinals still aren't gonna go to the Super Bowl and be No, we already know who's going to win the Super Bowl. We got that down. But they're doing okay. Okay. 10-3. I guess that's okay.
Josh, any thoughts?
The real question, I agree, it's a fluke. The real question is, what's going to happen next week? I mean, who are they going to have their starting quarterback? Going to be Lindley? Going to be Logan Thomas? We don't know.
This just in. Thanks, Josh. You brought us to our news segment of the show. Drew Stanton is hurt. He's got a sprained MCL, sprained knee, or something like that. From what on my NFL mobile app, it told me he was out for the season. But then when I looked at ESPN this morning, it said he's day to day. So I don't know. I mean, Drew, from what I could tell, Drew Stanton wasn't the best thing they had. So. But continue your thoughts. I just wanted to let the people know that. I
mean, Lindley, he hasn't thrown any touchdowns this season, has he? He's like 0 touchdowns and 7 picks. That's not exactly what you want to have out there on the field. I think I'd rather have Mark Sanchez or anyone worse than that. I would rather have them out on the field. But I think they really need to start focusing on next year, because even though they're 10-3, their season's over. They need to start looking to the future.
All right. As far as this game goes, I wasn't surprised. I knew it was going to be close, but I felt like the Cardinals had the tools for success here. I don't know. The Cardinals have won 2 straight once again, so I really don't. I wouldn't say their season's over. This is, people were giving Bruce Arians all the credit for making Carson Palmer win and making Drew Stanton. Not Drew Stanton. What's the guy? Is that the back? Who's the backup quarterback? I don't know who the backup quarterback is. Look at this.
And he says
You
he's
know,
prepared.
for a backup quarterback number 2, there you go. Like you know who the quarterbacks of the Arizona Cardinals are if they weren't hurt. Come on, don't act like you know that. You don't even know who the backup quarterback is for the Colts. Don't talk to me.
We don't need one.
Hasselbeck.
We don't need one.
You're gonna need one if Andrew Luck keeps taking those hits. I'm gonna let you know.
Hasselbeck.
Um,
Oh, yeah.
so bad.
Still.
Not a pro.
But I wasn't surprised here. Cardinals win. I knew it. I knew it.
I think we're skipping the next one because we don't usually pick the Thursday night games. It was Cowboys in Chicago. Cowboys blew out Chicago basically, 41-28.
Yeah, we talked about that one last week, so it's cool. It's
Yeah.
cool to skip it.
But anyway, next. Oh, where's Lamar? It's his team next. Where's Lamar? Oh man, the Steelers beat the Bengals 42-21. Where is he? Is that why he's not here? I think that's why he's not here. You know, they were trying to lose and they finally did. So they have, you know, they're gone down to 8-4-1. They still have that tie, because you know that's gonna not really count ever. You know, it's just not. Again, I didn't really get to see much of this game because I have to work like every day, all the time. So, but highlights that I saw, it looked pretty good. I would have liked to see this game, just because the Bengals finally lost. You know, they were working on it, and they finally succeeded in their goal to lose to the Steelers. So, next.
All right, Josh. Any Josh?
I think the reason the Steelers rolled so big over the Bengals was one factor: was Le'Veon Bell. Le'Veon Bell was a monster in that game. He got me 49 fantasy. That's enough to beat. That's enough to beat the Bengals, right there. Big Ben didn't have to do anything spectacular.
All right. As far as this game goes, I've been telling you guys for weeks. I've been telling everybody. I've been telling the world for weeks that the Bengals have been trying to lose. They tried to lose to the Jaguars, and now they try to lose to the Steelers, and they actually lose. The funny part about this was the Bengals didn't turn the ball over as much as they did in the Jaguars game, but they lost this game. The Bengals just aren't as good of a team as they looked like they were at the beginning of the season. I know that defense is hurt up a little bit. God forbid I give them some credit. If Lamar is here, it'd be like, what? You're going to talk about the defense being hurt instead of just bashing them? But this last little bit of the season is going to be good for all of the divisions. Like I said, it's really close. And that tie will come into play, especially if you think about it. If they go down to 5 losses, that tie will come into play because that tie is not a win. So that tie is going to keep them 1 win less than everyone else if they end up at 5 losses.
All right. So our next game was another fluke. The Finns were supposed to win, but that team from Baltimore, not the Baltimore Colts. What is that team? The Ravens. Yeah, that's the team. They somehow won. I don't get it. They beat the Finns. I'm still staying on the Dolphins bandwagon because that helmet, it just makes you smile. That cute little dolphin on it, and but yeah, the Ravens won 28-13. Which I was surprised. I honestly thought the Dolphins were gonna win. But guess not. Not too much to say about this one. Except I'm upset, very sad. Somebody on the panel's happy, but not me.
Any thoughts, Josh?
I think the main reason Baltimore took this one is Steve Smith's not as old as people think he is. And I think they didn't judge him as highly as they should have, and he just took advantage of him. I think that's the only big point about this game. They just didn't account for Steve Smith. What do you got to say about this, Donovan?
Um,
All right, next
you know,
game.
if you guys can be so big-headed about the Colts, I can at least be medium-sized headed about the Ravens. I said this last week. The Ravens look better than they've looked in the past, especially the offense is getting more comfortable, and I honestly feel that way. I feel like Joe's looking really sharp, and they're running the ball more effectively than they've been in the past couple of years. So they lost a heartbreaker to San Diego, and in this game with my dad, obviously being a Dolphins fan, he was cheering for the Dolphins. And like he came home, he was like, "They disgust me. They disgust me." And I didn't want to be as happy as I was, but I was. But they really have been winning games because of the running game, and because the passing game has been good enough to not necessarily turn the ball over, but more likely throw touchdowns when they're needed.
Yeah. The past two games we were talking about. Hold on. I picked the Bengals, and I think DJ picked the Steelers to win. And then obviously DJ picked the Ravens to win, and I picked the Dolphins to win. So, our next game was the Texans versus the Jaguars. The Texans won 27-13. I think who did we pick in this game? I picked the Jaguars because I thought they were going to turn it around, but they didn't. DJ picked the Texans. But yeah, it didn't turn it around. It's all because somebody likes to drink the haterade. So, but I mean, I feel like any season the Texans are going to be better than the Jaguars just because I don't really think the Jaguars, since they became a team, have ever really had that great season. They just they feel like a mediocre team that you don't really unless you are specifically a Jacksonville fan, you it's just the Jaguars. Which is unfortunate for them because Jacksonville fans are really they love their team. So, but maybe they'll turn it around next season. Probably not. And I feel bad for them that they spent all that money on new uniforms and new cool helmets, and they still suck. So, yeah.
The Texans are just a better team. There's no way around it. Even with a weak quarterback, they have DeAndre Hopkins, they have Andre Johnson, they have Arian Foster. Their offense is too much for a team like Jacksonville to handle. That's just all you can say about that game.
Yeah, I agree. They do have a nice offense, especially the young receiver in DeAndre Hopkins. When Andre Johnson hangs up the boots, which I'm gonna hate to see because he's one of my favorite receivers, but when he hangs up the boots, DeAndre Hopkins is gonna take the reins. I feel like. But I don't think DeAndre Hopkins is a Andre Johnson type of player either. So it's gonna be interesting to see, in the future. But as far as this game goes, I feel like Jacksonville. They're just a young team. They're just a young team trying to find their way right now. I think they're going to be better in years from now. Denard Robinson, who's out for the season at this point, but Denard Robinson finally got a chance, and he, for the most part, was really good. So I think him getting a chance really helped them look even better. Even though they're still 2-11. they play in a tough division, or at least the first place team is tough. I'm not sure about the rest of the teams in that division, but it's going to all close with the divisional game. So I think that Jacksonville's on the rise a little bit, just not right now, in the future. And the Texans still got a chance at this division.
All right. Our next game was the Buccaneers versus the Lions. We both picked the Lions. I just think this season anyway, they're just a better team. I'm still waiting for that season where the Buccaneers turn it around. I think it's been long enough. They deserve a good season. They had that Super Bowl season. It was like 2002, I think it was, somewhere around there. But I mean, that's 10 plus years ago. They deserve it. Especially unfortunately because when you think like Super Bowl teams, you think like Pittsburgh, you think New England. You don't think of lesser thought of teams like the Buccaneers. And I've been wanting to see a team like that make it to the Super Bowl. I wanted Kansas City to make it last year, when they had that great season. I just want to see something new in the Super Bowl. I don't want to see the same teams all the time. I don't want to see New England all the time. I don't want to see Pittsburgh all the time. I do want to see Indianapolis all the time, but that's just because they're the best team in the anyway. But yeah, 34-17. Obviously, not really a close game. The Bucs are just hurting. They need to turn it around, but I don't know if they can at anytime soon. Even next season, I don't know that they'll be able to turn it around. I know when they had, I think it was last season or the season before, they had signed Revis, and they thought it was going to turn everything around, and that still didn't do anything. So at this point, I don't know what they have to do to really turn it around. But I guess we'll see what happens. Josh?
I think Tampa Bay has a really good coach, and I don't think Chicago should have just given him the boot like that. Lovie Smith's a good coach. But Matthew Stafford and Megatron is just too big of a combo. If there's one thing Matthew Stafford can do is throw it really hard down the field, and Megatron is really fast. So that team is just really good at passing, and Bell is a good standard quarterback, and he's good at holding down the fort and keeping the pressure off Stafford. So I think that's why the Lions won that game.
All right, so you had a 2-11 team going up against the #1 defense in the league. I don't really know what you really expected. If you picked the Buccaneers, you were just really hoping at that point, I would think. The Lions have looked good this year. They don't look like they're gonna collapse. I'm not sure what the rest of their schedule looks like. I have to look that up. But the Lions have looked good this year. They're fighting for that division with the Packers. And the NFC doesn't look as good, as powerful as they have in the past. So even the Lions can get in, maybe even being the second place team. It's going to be interesting to see because I think the Lions have one more matchup with the Packers. It may even be this week. I can't remember. But they do have one more matchup with the Packers, I'm pretty sure. So if they can beat them, it's going to be interesting.
All right, next game. First, before I get into this one, DJ, do you want to go in your corner of shame? For this next one, the Rams versus the Redskins. You can go ahead. You can go in your corner of shame. I picked the Rams because it was like I think they're a better team. Somebody over there picked the Redskins, and 24-0, 24 points. And the Redskins didn't get one. Not even a safety. Not even a field goal. Nothing. Next.
Oh, okay. I think the Rams have a really good defense. That's the only thing they have, but they do defense very well. Their last two games have been shutouts. And the Colts, I mean, not the Colts, the Redskins, I got the Colts on my brain. The Redskins don't really have an identity right now. They don't know who their quarterback is. They don't know what their offense is. They're just struggling to find an identity. So it didn't really shock me that they couldn't score on the Rams. Offensive problem.
It's it's funny you brought up a shutout, and then Josh just let us know that they've shut out teams in the past 2 weeks. Now let's go back a couple of weeks when you decided you wanted to drink the Raider Raid, and you wanted to pick the Raiders over the Rams. I just want to let you know
Who won this
they
week?
gave up these 2 points.
This week.
Oh, wait a minute. No, you wanted to talk about the shutouts and all, so I just wanted to remind you of what happened, not even too long ago. But I thought the Redskins had a little bit more in them. Being from Virginia, I see a lot of Redskins fans here. And, man, I don't even know. I don't know really what happened. Colt McCoy got hurt, and Colt McCoy looked bad when he was not hurt. So I don't really know. I don't know what they're going to do at quarterback. I guess they're just going to flip a three-sided coin, and whichever one comes up, they're putting them in.
What is the three-sided coin?
Game.
I don't.
The fans were chanting. It was
Repeat
terrible.
that, Josh?
They were chanting RG3, RG3. He hasn't done anything this season. Why are they going to chant him?
I don't. I'm actually surprised they haven't turned on RG3. Honestly.
All right. Next game was the Panthers versus the Saints. We actually both picked the Saints, I believe. Yeah, we did. We were wrong. Panthers won 41-10, which was a complete surprise to me. I was sure the Saints were gonna win. But I don't know what happened. I'm done.
Yeah, that's where Andrew is.
Yeah. Andrew, where are you? I have nothing to say. I'm sad. The one time I picked the Saints and they lose. One time.
I don't know what was wrong with the Saints offense. They just couldn't get it going. I guess it's really good game planning by the Panthers, but it's a complete letdown. Drew Brees should be playing better. Saints are just a better team than that. This just isn't their season. You good?
By the way, Casey, you picked the Saints twice, at least since you've been on this show. You
I did?
picked the Saints last week, and you picked the Saints against the Ravens. They've lost both games. You might want to stop. Anyway,
Shut up.
this game this game was a shocker to me. It really was, because the Panthers just haven't looked that good. And then out of nowhere, the Panthers look that good. What? I guess they're fighting for their lives in that division because they still have a chance. But Cam Newton did get in that car accident, so that's going to affect them a little bit too. So we're going to see what Derek Anderson, my boy, Derek Anderson, shout out to Derek Anderson, played with him on Madden one time, and I killed. But I think Derek Anderson's going to play well against, I don't know who they're playing at this point right now because we're focusing on these games. But I'll mention Derek Anderson again. Don't worry. But this was a shocker, definitely. Only 10 points? Come on, New Orleans. Come on, man.
I feel like every backup quarterback is your boy. Every single one is like, that's my boy, that's my boy.
That's probably true, honestly.
If they're your boy, why are they backups? Shouldn't they be better? Come on now.
Because I have more faith in them than the organizations do.
Mm-hmm. That's why you're not in the organization. Anyway, our next game. No, I don't want that. Go back. The Giants versus the Texans. DJ, why did you pick? I think you picked you picked the Titans, not the Texans. The Titans. Why did you pick the Titans? I told you to pick the Giants. because the Giants won 36-7. Basically because Peyton came over and whooped Eli's butt, and was like, "Hey, you need to be better," and he listened. He listened. That's what I'm saying. But I'm not surprised. Like I've said in the past, I have no faith in the Titans at all, ever. Maybe their first season as a team, I was kind of, oh, maybe they could, and then no, nothing after that. But yeah, the score pretty much says it, 36-7. Go. And I'm not a Giants fan at all, but I just knew they were a better team than the Titans. I think a lot of teams are better teams than the Titans. But DJ's going to be like, they're not as bad as they look on paper. They're not as bad. Josh?
I think Manning has finally found his go-to target in Beckham Jr. since his main wide receiver got hurt earlier this season. I think they're finally getting into a rhythm. They weren't that bad. They just look really bad on paper. But I don't think they've been that bad, and the Titans are that bad. So I think that's why the Giants took this game. You, Jake?
Yeah, I did pick the Titans, but I think the Giants are the better team. I picked the Titans because of Zach Mettenberger is my boy, another backup quarterback. That just happens to be my boy. But he's out for the season too, I'm pretty sure. So, but hindsight being 2020, I should have picked the Giants. But the Giants are the better team. Their offense looked decent during like the middle area of the season, and then they looked bad, and then they looked good again. So I don't know. You never know what to do with the Giants. You can't pick the Giants and be like, I fully trust them. There's no way.
You can say it. They're better on paper. Do your line.
I don't really have that line for them. For the Browns, I have that line, but I don't really have that line for them.
All right. Next was the Jets versus the Vikings. DJ picked the Jets, and I picked the Vikings. And I was right, and I didn't even have a reason to pick the Vikings. I just kind of randomly picked them, and they won, because I'm just that good, ladies and gentlemen. I am just that good. 30-24, so it wasn't that bad of a game. It wasn't like a blowout or anything, but the Vikings still managed to pull it out. Josh?
No matter how many stars the Vikings lose, or how bad they could possibly be, they aren't going to lose to the Jets, because the Jets are the Jets. And they need to replace their coaching staff and just completely rebuild. Because right now, they just suck. They're terrible.
Yeah, I think I picked the Jets because of an Andrew reason. I think I said I'm going to be Andrew this week, and I'm going to pick them because I can't pick against them. I don't know. I like the Jets for some reason. I don't know why. I always have, especially since Rex Ryan took over. I've always liked the Jets. It was because the Sanchez, baby. The Sanchez was there. That's what it was. But seriously, shout out to Teddy Bridgewater being clutch. Throwing that big time pass at the end of that game to win that game. That's all I got to say. That's what won the game. It was close. It was close throughout.
Yeah. Our next game was the Bills versus the Broncos. We both picked the Broncos. It was 24-17. So I'm surprised. I thought it would be a higher scoring game on the Broncos' part. I thought it would be a more off center score, being that it was the Broncos, Peyton Manning and the almighty Broncos versus that team up in Buffalo, which is basically how they're usually portrayed, unless you go back to like the mid-90s when they were kind of better. But like I said, I was surprised. I was proud of the Bills for at least, holding in there. They didn't get it blown out by the Broncos, which I think a lot of people thought was going to happen. They held their own, didn't get the win, but when you go up like against a team like the Broncos, you can't always get the win, unfortunately. They are just that good, and they do have Peyton Manning, who, besides Tom Brady, has been for the past since he's been in the league, arguably one of the best quarterbacks in the league. So,
Best to ever play. Best to ever frickin' play.
oh, Andrew Luck, yeah, you're right, totally.
Oh.
But I'm like I said, good job, Bills. You just didn't win. You get honorable mention. Good job, Josh.
First of all, I am really mad at Peyton Manning right now. He was on my fantasy team, and he got me 2 points. 2 points. I had Matt Ryan on my bench, and he got 31 points. But Peyton Manning got 2 points. Okay, that's all I'm going to talk about fantasy. But the Broncos have shown that they can run the ball, but it's not working as well as when they pass the ball. So I think that's going to hurt them in the long run. I don't think they have enough gas to get through the playoffs. But it really didn't shock me that much watching the game that the Bills stuck with them, just because the Broncos are failing right now. They're running out of steam. DJ?
I didn't really get to watch this game, and yeah, Peyton Manning fantasy, because I have him on my fantasy team as well. But I'm not in the playoffs, so it doesn't really matter much for me. As far as this game goes, this game was really close. When I looked at the score being 24-17, I was like, okay, so Peyton Manning probably had some good numbers going in the direction of the positive area there, and he didn't. And I was like, oh well, how'd they win? I can't remember the running back's name off the top of my head because he's like their really backup running back. So can't remember his name off the top of my head, but I know he's been playing really well over the past couple weeks. I could probably just look at it, but that guy's been playing really well. Thompson's been playing really well.
Alright. Next, we got that bird game. The Seahawks versus the Eagles. Seahawks won 24-14. Let's see, who did we pick? I picked the Eagles, I think, and I think DJ picked the Eagles, and I picked the Seahawks to win. Seahawks won. I just haven't been an Eagles fan since like mid to late 90s, so I never really picked them. So I picked the Seahawks. Like I said, they're not the team that they were last season, but I think they still are better than the Eagles. Not to say that the Eagles are bad necessarily, but I think the Eagles are the Eagles. They're good, but they're not. They're not playoffs or Super Bowl good, unfortunately for them. Next, Josh.
All right. At the beginning of this season, I picked the Eagles to go to the Super Bowl just because I love Darren Sproles and LaShawn McCoy. And I think Sanchez came in there. Yeah, I said Sanchez, going with my boy DJ Delabille. And I think he improved the team. I just think they underestimated Seattle and how Seattle's fully recovered now and their defense is playing on a all-star caliber. They just didn't go in there with the right mentality, and that failed them. And I think they're going to reboot and show up against the Cowboys, but they didn't have the game planning to beat the Seattle Seahawks.
Yeah, and you got to think the Eagles are, especially Mark Sanchez. If you think about everybody else in that offense, they've been starting in that offense, so they already know that offense. He's been running with the second team. He's still kind of building chemistry too. It's only been what about 4 to 6 games he's played with them, so he's still building chemistry throughout. They are still leading that division though, and they are in third place, so they're gonna make the playoffs. There's no way they're not gonna make the playoffs. Um, and I picked the Cowboys to win the division. I do think the Cowboys will win the division, but they will. But the Eagles will still make the playoffs. As far as this game goes, yeah, I said last week that this would be the biggest test for Mark Sanchez because of the defensive caliber that that the Seahawks present. So I said it was going to be a big game for him, and I said not necessarily he was going to be great. I said that it's going to be a big time test, and it was. It'd be interesting to see how the coaching staff, the quarterback, the running back, everybody, they just kind of adjust to playing these big time teams. The Packers, we've seen them lose to the Packers and we've seen them lose to the Seahawks. So it's going to be interesting to see how they, especially going into the playoffs, how they're going to, adjust to that. Those are the teams lost to, so they got to find a way to adjust.
All right. Next game, and I was right about this, okay? They went out, the Raiders, they went out and they signed Steve Young and Jerry Rice for one game to beat the 49ers. And, hey, drinking the Raiderade worked this week because the Raiders beat the 49ers. That's right. They have improved to 2-11. And hold your applause, ladies and gentlemen. Hold your applause. They won 24-13. I was able to watch a little bit of this game. I was out to eat, and the restaurant I went to had this game on for some reason. I don't know why, because I live in Pennsylvania. So the fact that they had this game on was weird. I think they also had the Eagles game on at the same time. But I'm just happy that the Raiderade worked this time, and DJ's Haterade failed. I'm trying to see who we picked, though. I don't think I picked. Did I pick the Raiders in this one? I'm trying to see. I don't think I did. Why didn't you let me pick the Raiders, DJ? What's wrong with you? Oh, wait, no, I did. Sorry, I did. I picked the Raiders and DJ picked the 49ers. So, I win. Next.
I think Colin Kaepernick is one of those quarterbacks where once you figure him out, he's not that good. We've seen that in his past couple games. He hasn't been showing up. It's kind of like Michael Vick, RG3. Once you figure out how he plays the game, he's not that hard to stop. And I think the Raiders figured out how to stop Cap. That was the main reason that they won this game. DJ?
I agree with you on that. And I think if you don't have big time arm, and I don't mean arm strength, I mean accuracy, you can't make the throws, and running's not going to do it for you all the time. Just a note on that Steve Young, Jerry Rice thing. From what I see here, Derek Carr had the 254 and 3 touchdowns, and Michael Rivera, top receiver, 109, 1 TD. I didn't see anything about Jerry Rice. I'm not sure if he was the mentor or what was going on.
No, they went in under different names, so people wouldn't, mob them or anything. That's what happened.
Oh, okay. I can understand that.
All right, next. I hate this game. The Patriots versus the Chargers. I hate the Patriots with a passion. I'm sorry, but I do. I picked the Chargers, and DJ picked the Patriots, and of course, the almighty Patriots win. 23-14, and I'm done. I'm going to cry in a corner. Yeah.
I think if Gronk is healthy, the Patriots are going to win, except against the Colts. I think Gronk is the X factor for the Patriots. Tom Brady has plenty of options, but they can't make things happen like Gronk. We've seen him break tackle after tackle. No one can defend him. I think that's the only reason the Patriots took it.
All right. For this game, I did pick the Patriots because I knew the Chargers were riding that big time momentum shift from the win against Baltimore and that comeback win at that. But I felt like the Patriots were just too good of a team, especially in the regular season. I'm not sure about the playoffs. I'm not gonna guarantee anything with the Patriots in the playoffs. I just don't trust them. But the Patriots did pick up the win. It actually looked like the Chargers were going to win this game early on. It just until the end is when it got away from the Chargers.
Yeah. Our final game was the Falcons versus the Packers. I picked the Packers and UJ picked the Falcons. This was actually a closer game than I thought it was going to be. 43-37, Packers won. So, again, the Falcons held on in there. They didn't get blown out like I had assumed they were going to do, considering it was, I believe it was at Lambeau, which, as I've said in the past, Lambeau is one of those places where it's just hard to win, especially, colder months, December, January, where it is freezing there. But the Falcons held on. But again, the Packers still pulled it out. I think they're a better team than the Falcons. Anyway, I don't necessarily see the Falcons as that caliber of team. Ever, not just this season. I just don't think I don't know if it's just they don't have the talent or really what's going on, because I don't pay attention to the Falcons that much. Because they're not the Colts, so why do I care? But no, good job to them for hanging in there and at least keeping it to a close game. In Lambeau. Josh?
Okay. The Packers allowed the Falcons to score 37 points, right?
Yeah.
I don't think that fans for Green Bay should be worried about their defense. I think they just had a breakdown in this game. It's a one-game fix. I think Matty Ice showed up, and they weren't planning on it because they're the Falcons. The Falcons aren't that good right now. So I think Matty Ice just played above expectations and kept this game close. But Green Bay reached down and they had a little bit more than the Falcons. So they took the game when it mattered the most.
Yeah. The Falcons. I don't think they scored. They scored a majority of these points in the second half. This was a blowout going into half. I was actually watching some of the game. I know I looked up at the score. I was like, "This is a blowout. I'm gonna not look at this score anymore." Then I looked back up and I was like, "Oh, they're 6 points away." So I was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool." But I don't know. I don't know if this is getting fixed but I'm not sure if it's getting fixed. But it also could be one getting fixed. It just depends on if this is or if this is how the defense plays when they have a big lead. Because sometimes when you have a big lead, you become very conservative, and you decide to, not play as aggressively as you would if you, were trying to come back or something like that. So they probably were really playing conservative more so than just giving up a huge lead.
Yeah. So you want to take over for the next week picks, for this week's picks?
Yeah, I'll take over so you can do the spreadsheet and stuff. All right. So we started out with the Cardinals and the Rams on last night. With the third quarter about they came with the win 12-6.
You're breaking up a lot.
Big the big. Never mind. So what do you guys think of this game? I'll start with Josh, and then we'll go to Casey.
That was an ugly game. I didn't really watch too much of it. I looked at the scores and saw that it was like 9-3 and like 12-6. It looked like a soccer game out there, honestly. I didn't really pay that much attention to it, honestly. Casey?
I did not pay attention to this game at all. I I forgot it was even there. But yeah, it was really a low scoring game. I mean, it could have been a soccer game. I don't know. Maybe they just said, screw it, let's go play soccer. Uh,
All right, so the first game of the Sunday week, um, first 1 o'clock game we got is the Steelers going into Atlanta to face the Falcons in the Georgia Dome. This is going to be an interesting one because this is two teams fighting for their lives in their divisions. Two very close divisions in the NFC South and the AFC North. I'm going to have to go with the Falcons here. They're playing at home. They're really good at home, usually. Generally, they've been really good at home. So I'm going to have to go with the Falcons fighting for their lives. No bias is there. No bias is there. Josh, what you think?
I think Le'Veon Bell, the X Factor, I know I'm kind of man crushing on him, but Le'Veon Bell, he's going to be too much for Atlanta's defense to handle. I'm going to pick Pittsburgh to win this one by 7 points.
all right. I'm gonna pick the Steelers too. I just think this late in the season they're more kind of experienced in getting this late in the season and then getting into like playoffs and things like that. Whereas the Falcons kind of aren't really that known for like getting that close to the Super Bowl. They kind of fizzle off. But I think it'll be a good game though. I don't think it'll be a blowout, but I think the Steelers are going to be able to overcome them. Yeah.
All right. So as the Redskins or the Auras, whatever you want to call them, the Nationals, however you want to call them, the Skins going into New York or technically New Jersey to go face off against a division rival in the Giants. Two teams who really have nothing to play for anymore. So in this game, Redskins versus Giants, I'm gonna have to go with the Giants. I can't trust the Redskins, even though I know I said I can't trust the Giants last week. These are just two teams you can't trust. That's just how it is. That's why they're at the. But I'm gonna go with the Giants at home. Josh, what you think about the Redskins and the Giants battle?
I think this matchup looks pretty much even, but I think the Giants have shown more stability going down the stretch. I think they've kind of discovered what their offense is, and I think they'll take this. Not by much, though. Casey?
Yeah, you said Giants?
Yeah.
Had a brain fart there, sorry. I'm going to pick the Giants too. I think out of two sort of mediocre teams, the Giants are the better of the two. I think they just have a little bit more stability and a little bit better of a team. And at least we kind of know, who the quarterback is. At least it is a Manning. Not saying it's the best Manning because there's two other Mannings that are better than Eli. Only one's in the NFL, unfortunately, because the other one was injured in college. So, but yeah, the Giants are gonna win. They have nothing really to fight for, so it's kind of whatever at this point. But yeah.
All right. So next up, we got the Dolphins going into New England to face off against the Patriots. Another big division game. I'm not sure if the Patriots clinched the playoffs yet. I think they haven't because they're 10-3. Actually they've clinched the division at this point. So the Dolphins will not win this division, like I said earlier on a while back, like before week 1 happened. But I'm gonna have to go with the Dolphins here. I think the Dolphins um, are gonna prove that they're on the rise. They wanna be better. They want to be better than the Patriots. At some point, they're going to win this division in the near future. So I'm going to have to go with the Dolphins in this one.
All right. I think the Patriots offense is going to be really strong. They average nearly 31 points a game, which is really high up there. So, and Miami beat the Patriots in the first game of the season. I just think the Patriots are going to come in hungry. They're going to want to show what they've become throughout the season. I think they're going to take this one by a large margin. Casey?
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna pick the Dolphins. They're. I think any team that goes up against like a team like the Patriots, kind of has that much more kind of motivation to beat them because you want to be that team that was able to beat the almighty Patriots. And I really don't think the Patriots are as good as a lot of Patriots fans will try to hype up. I mean, yeah, they have Gronk and everything like that, but if he gets injured, and if Brady gets injured, what do you have? You don't really have anything. And we've seen that in past seasons where Brady gets injured and they just go in the toilet. So I think the Dolphins are going to just be that much more hungry for it and come out with the win. Even if it doesn't, into the playoffs or whatever, they're just going to say, "Hey, we were able to beat you twice," and I think they can do it if they play right.
Yeah. The last time that one year when Brady did get hurt and was out for the rest of the season, Matt Castle took over, and that's why he got that deal with the Chiefs because he went 10-6. So they didn't do too bad when Brady was out, but they didn't. That was pre-Gronk era as well. Next, they got the Raiders going up against the Kansas City Chiefs. I don't think the Raiders can win in Arrowhead Stadium. Arrowhead Stadium's a tough place to play, and it doesn't always get the credit that it should be given because it is a tough place to play. The Chiefs haven't been as good as they were last year, but the last time they played the Raiders, they lost to the Raiders because it wasn't too long ago. With the number 6 ranked rushing offense, I think that the Chiefs can do it. Alex Smith doesn't make a ton of big plays, but I think Alex Smith makes just enough plays to beat the Raiders. And Jamal Charles, obviously one of the best running backs in the league, is gonna get his.
The Raiders haven't won a game on the road all year, so I wouldn't expect that to change now. They aren't scoring enough points to outscore Kansas City. I have a lot of faith in Alex Smith. I think he's severely underrated. I think he's better than Colin Kaepernick. But I think Kansas City is just going to take this.
All right. This is a tough game to pick for me because for my underdog teams, these are two that I really like. That I always kind of, I'm obviously a Colts fan, but I always kind of watch the Chiefs and the Raiders, hoping they do well. Unfortunately, I don't think Oakland's going to be able to do it. They have been able to win 2 games, but I think the Chiefs are just better, especially like DJ said, in Arrowhead, it is hard to play there. People don't give it as much credit as it deserves. There's some stadiums, NFL and college alike, that are just really hard to play in, and that's one of them. With the noise, Just the atmosphere there, it's hard to play. So the Chiefs are going to win this one, definitely.
All right. Next, we got a game near and dear to two of the three panelist hearts here. We got the Texans going up against the Colts in Indianapolis. And you know what? The Houston Texans are going to go into Lucas Oil Stadium, and they're going to upset the Colts and make this division that much closer. Ryan Fitzpatrick and the number 24 ranked passing offense are going to do it, baby. They're going to do it. I believe in the Fitzpatrick, baby.
I think the Houston Texans are going to storm into Lucas Oil. Hearts hungry. They're going to go in there and they're going to get murdered. I think the Colts really want to clinch this division. I think they're hungry. I think Andrew Luck is too good. I think the offense is kicking. And I don't think J.J. Watt is enough to stop the whole Colts offense. The only way that Houston could pull this game is if they get pressure on Andrew Luck, which J.J. Watt has shown that, but I just think the Colts are going to be too much.
Yeah. They're going to come in, but I feel like the Texans are always one of those teams that we manage to come out and win over. Same as Jacksonville. Anytime Jacksonville comes, we always beat them. It's just not that the Texans are a bad team, but it's the Colts and it's Lucas Oil Stadium, and how can you overcome that? How? So the Colts are gonna win, and it's gonna be a blowout. It is. I'm gonna be honest. Not being cocky, but it's gonna happen.
Didn't you say the last game that the Colts played was gonna be a blowout? I think I remember that. Anyway, next game.
We felt bad, so we let them get those points.
Okay. All right. Cincinnati Bengals going into Cleveland to go against the Cleveland Browns, and the Johnny Manziel-led Cleveland Browns, I must add. Before the season had started, if you told me Johnny Manziel was starting in this game, I would have said the Bengals were going to win because I don't think Johnny Manziel is ready for the AFC North. This is Johnny Manziel's first game as a starter, first game in the NFL. The nerves are going to be after him. But the Browns are going to win, baby. The Browns are going to win because the Bengals will continue to give away games like they've done all year. And you know what happened with the Bengals last time they tried to give away a game to the Browns? They gave away a game to the Browns, 24-3. So, and the Browns are at home this time too. Yeah, I think the Browns take this one.
I think the Bengals are really deflated after that last loss to Pittsburgh, and they're not going to know how to game plan for Johnny Football. I mean, they could watch his college film, but he's practiced with the Browns for almost a whole season. That's a completely different pro squad. He could have a different game style by now. I think they're not going to know how to game plan, and the Browns are going to take it.
Yeah. As much as I don't like Manziel because he was kind of a cocky douche in the beginning of the season, with all the issues that they had with, the tweets from Vegas when he should have been at the facility, training and everything. And the fact that he was like, I'm going to be starter, and then, he wasn't the starter. I just don't like guys who are really good in college and just come in assuming that they're going to be a starter. That just really aggravates me. Which is why I liked guys like Tim Tebow. He was really good in college. He came in, he was humble, he wasn't cocky. Unfortunately, he couldn't really adapt to the different style in the NFL. I think I would love to see another team give him another chance because I really liked him, but we're not talking about Tim Tebow right now. We can still Tebow, though. I think we should bring that back, Tebowing. I missed that. But I think the Browns are going to win, especially at home. I think it'll be a good game, though. I do.
And I think you guys know how much it pains me to pick the Browns with Johnny Manziel because I've been such a big supporter of Brian Hoyer. I've been a huge supporter of Brian Hoyer, honestly. And I'm a little sad right now, honestly. But to cheer me up, we get the Jaguars going into Baltimore, M&T Bank Stadium. I've been there, and going up against the Ravens. The Jags, for some reason, always give us a good game. I'm not really sure why, but they do. I think they're kind of like the Titans. Like, they're never really that great, but for some reason they give us a good game. We're playing at home, which is good. I don't know what's going on with Torrey Smith. I know he has some kind of knee injury. Hopefully he can get some snaps in, at least loosen up a little bit. But I think the Ravens take this one at home. The Ravens don't lose a ton at home, and they're fighting for that division lead with the Bengals. So I think the Ravens take this one.
Okay, I think the Ravens are going to take it just because, okay, in the last game, Denard Robinson was showing that he had promise and that he could be the possible future of the Jaguars, and that was all shot down. And I think that was the last hope they had. So Baltimore is just going to take this because the Jaguars suck.
Yeah. Unfortunately for Jacksonville, they're just not good enough. It's I feel bad saying it for Jacksonville fans, but they're just not good enough. They need to completely revamp their team and their organization, not just go out and get cool new uniforms and cool helmets and think that's going to change their whole team, because it's not. They're you can have cool uniforms and all, but if you suck, you suck. But I think the Ravens are going to win this game. Yeah. Even though I don't want them to, because, who likes the Ravens? God.
Anyway, but I don't think you can really blame the Jaguars, though. They didn't spend all their money on new uniforms and everything. You got to think about it. They've had good picks because they've been so bad. They just haven't been the best picks that they thought they were going to have. They invested a lot of time and money in Blaine Gabbert, and he wasn't what I hoped he would be and what, everyone else was hoping he would be. Their defense was pretty good for a little while, but then they've been plagued by injuries, and they're really young too. So I think Blake Bortles, from what I'm hearing, is the future. He's the Seth Rollins of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So it's going to be interesting to see how good he really is. What was that?
You mean the Dean Ambrose?
I mean the John Cena.
You mean the Sami Zayn?
But anyway, the next game is the Packers going on the road to face the Buffalo Bills. The Packers look really good, and I think you can't help but pick the Packers, even on the road. But I do think the Bills are going to give them a game. I really do. I think the Bills haven't looked really terrible. They haven't looked terrible at all. So I think they're going to give the fans a show here. I'm going to put the Packers on upset alert this week. First upset alert of the week.
I'm going to agree with you. The Packers have been scoring ridiculous amounts of points, but the Buffalo Bills have a severely underrated defense. I think their defense is going to pull through. I think they're going to get some good work from their receiving core, and I think they're going to upset the Packers too.
All right, what was your pick?
I picked the Bills.
Okay. This week and last week, the Bills have been put up against really, tough teams. Denver last week and Green Bay this week. So they're either going to turn it around and do really well and beat Green Bay, or they're going to crumble under the pressure of having to play these two really good teams back to back. But I'm going to give it to them. I'm going to say that they're going to win. I just think them being at home and wanting to play well for their fans and wanting to get that big win over a team like the Packers is going to do it. And if you've been to, because I've been to their stadium for a game against the Colts, and it's similar to Lambeau in the temperature-wise. It is very cold, so it's going to be a close game in that aspect, because the Bills are used to playing cold, so it's not like they're going to, either team's going to freeze up and be like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. But I think the Bills are going to, it'll be close, but they're going to be able to pull it out.
All right, and just so everyone knows, the Bills actually have the 5th ranked defense. So, yeah, and you don't hear a lot about that. So, as much as we hear about how good these defenses are and how, the Patriots have Revis and, the Cardinals have Patrick Peterson, you never hear anything about the Bills. And this is a season after they lost their best safety in Jairus Byrd. So, I don't know. They're doing pretty good for themselves. So, next we got another NFC South battle where the Panthers get to sit in Carolina and play against the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I'm going to have to go with the Panthers here. The Panthers, they showed us last week. They're going to do what it takes to win games, even when it seems like, they're not going to win games. So you can pick against them all you want to, but Derek Anderson, baby. Derek Anderson wins this game. No, I don't know if Derek Anderson wins it by himself, but, I'm going to give Derek Anderson some credit here, and I think he pulls it out.
I think Derek Anderson has not had enough time in the offense to really run it to its full effect. And I'm going to put a little faith in my boy Josh McCown. I thought he should have been starting over Jay Cutler in Chicago. And I think he's going to prove himself in this game against the Panthers. So I'm going to pick the Bucs.
All right. I want to pick the Bucs, but every time I do, they disappoint me. So I'm going to pick the Panthers, but I'm going to put them on upset alert. Maybe, the Bucs will finally break that losing streak and say, hey, we want to win. And I feel like if they do that, the Panthers are a team that they could do that with. If it was like the Patriots or the Broncos, I'd say no way. But I think they could do it with the Panthers. But I'm still going to pick the Panthers to win.
All right. So next we got the New York Jets traveling all the way to Tennessee, which is not that far, but traveling to Tennessee to face the Tennessee Titans. I'm going to have to go with the Jets here. If you guys didn't know, the Jets actually have the number 2 ranked rushing offense. That's interesting. I don't think I would have thought that before looking at this graphic right now, but the Jets are the number 2 ranked offense as far as rushing is concerned, and I think they're gonna win and actually have a number 7 ranked defense, which is also interesting. So I guess they're a little better than their record said. Maybe, probably not, but it's we can give them a little credit. I guess good in the rankings. I'm gonna go with the 2-11 Jets to beat the 2-11 Tennessee Titans.
I think the Tennessee Titans are going to go in there. It's going to be close, but I think the Titans are going to win. I think Delaney Walker shows up, and he's going to out-receive Decker. I just think Tennessee is going to have a close victory over the Jets.
Yeah. I actually am going to pick the Titans in this one. I just don't see the Jets winning, especially not at home. Um, I just don't have faith in the. I don't have faith in either of these teams, but I have to pick one because apparently I can't pick the refs. Apparently that's not allowed anymore because for a while there I was just picking the refs because they never lose. They never lose. But I'm gonna pick the Titans and hope they don't disappoint me, even though they will.
Yeah, and like I said earlier, Zach Mettenberger is out, so I'm not sure who they're starting. I haven't heard an official word on that. I guess it may be Jake Locker because he's been healthy for a while. He just hasn't been playing. They've been giving Mettenberger a chance because obviously they don't have any direction in the quarterback position at this point. So, they're trying to see if Mettenberger was the answer, but now he's out for the season. So next we got the Denver Broncos going into Cali, going against the San Diego Chargers. San Diego Chargers once again, but I don't know. This was a tough one because I want to pick the Chargers to avenge their loss from early on in the season, but then again, I don't know. The Broncos haven't looked great either, so I'm leaning towards the Chargers, and I'm gonna go ahead and pull the trigger and say that the Chargers are gonna win it. The Chargers are gonna win it at home. Peyton Manning hasn't looked like the Peyton Manning we know and love. It seems like the arm strength is kind of getting down on him late in the season. So I'm going with the Chargers.
I think Phillip Rivers is not the quarterback that he was at the beginning of the season, but Peyton Manning's not the same quarterback either. Neither of the rushing attacks are spectacular, but I do think Denver has the better receiving core. So I'm gonna pick Denver, but I might regret it.
Yeah. I think Denver, in general, is a better team, but like you said, it's not the same Peyton Manning that we know and love. That could just be fatigue from this season. That could be age getting up to him. It could be injuries that he's had. I've said a ton of times I don't think he should have necessarily come back after his last big neck surgery. Because for one, like we've said in the past, one wrong hit and he could, never walk again. It's just a risk that I don't necessarily think he needed to put upon himself. But he loves the game, so he's not going to walk away from it. But you can't fight age. You can't play forever. So I don't know what it is exactly that's he's kind of changing. But I'm gonna pick the Chargers to win because I think they're hungry for it. And yeah.
All right, so after that, we're going to have the Detroit Lions going up against the Minnesota Vikings. This is actually in Detroit. I'm going to have to go with Detroit here because I don't really trust Vikings a ton. I don't trust the Vikings. I trust the Vikings less than I trust the Lions, and the Lions are still fighting for the division. The Vikings are fighting for not a lot. So I'm going to have to go with the Detroit Lions, that number one ranked defense. I'm pretty sure that's still the number one ranked defense. Actually, they're the number two ranked defense now, but still, that's still pretty good. So I'm going with the Lions.
I'm starting to believe in Teddy Bridgewater, but I believe in Matthew Stafford a lot more. So I think Detroit's going to win just because they have better leadership. I think they finally getting the rundown. They've got good receivers. They got a good quarterback. Their defense is impressive. I think the Lions are going to take it big.
Yeah. You know, the Vikings won last week, but that was against the Jets, so that's not really saying much. Um, I don't think they're going to be able to beat Detroit. So, yeah, and you know, Detroit has something to fight for. I don't think the Vikings really have anything to fight for, except for obviously you never want to lose, but when you don't have anything to fight for, you don't really have that motivation. So I'm gonna pick Detroit, but I'll put them on upset alert. Just because I can if I want to, and I want to.
After that week, the number one defense in the Hawks playing at home against the San Francisco 49ers. This is an interesting one here because these are two teams that are still really tight. As far as looking for that second place in the um, in the NFC West. So, but you got to think about it. The Seahawks are, looking up at the Cardinals a little bit too, and saying, well, if y'all drop one, we can come away and take it from you. And I think the Seahawks did get that win against the Cardinals early on in the season. But in this one, usually I would go with the San Francisco 49ers, but the 49ers have looked really bad recently, so I can't really trust them as much as I'd like to. I don't. Kaepernick has not played very well against Seattle in his career, regardless. And having a down season this season, I think it's not going to change. Seattle wins.
I think San Francisco is going to go in there hungry, but Kaepernick is way overrated. The Legion of Boom is back, and they're playing in front of the 12th man. There's just no way the 49ers can pull it out. I'm picking Seattle.
Yeah, I personally think Colin Kaepernick. I kind of always thought he was overrated, but I just saw DJ Beal adjusted your audio level. Are you saying I'm loud, you jerk?
No, I was just trying to see what it would do.
Oh. But again, they're Seahawks are at home. They have the 12th man. They have the Legion of Boom. San Francisco's just not going to be able to overcome that. They're not as good as they could be. Not saying that they could. I don't know. I'm just not a San Francisco fan, so I don't really think they're as good as some people say they are. But I just think the Seahawks are going to be more comfortable in this game because they're at home, and like I said, they have the 12th man. So they kind of have everything on their side in this game.
I think the Seahawks defense hasn't really seemed like it's been a number one ranked defense, though. If you think about it, I guess early on in the season they really didn't look like it, and then I don't even think recently they've looked terrific. They've won some games, but I don't know if they really looked terrific either. But next we got the Sunday night football game, which is the Dallas Cowboys going up against the Philadelphia Eagles. And the Philadelphia Eagles are at home. I feel like if the Philadelphia Eagles went to Jerry World and won that game 33-10, why can't they at least win by at least a point at home? Believe in the Sanchez, baby. Believe in the Sanchez. The Sanchez is gonna sit at home and he's gonna sit back there and throw passes to Jeremy Maclin and Riley Cooper and that rookie that I can't remember his name, but he's a good player. I like him. I faced him in fantasy and it sucked. But anyway, I I don't know. I'm gonna go with the Eagles here because I believe in the franchise and I think they're gonna go to the playoffs and I think they're gonna go farther than Casey thinks. They're gonna go farther than Casey thinks. Maybe not Super Bowl, but farther than Casey thinks at least. But I think I'm gonna put them on upset alert just because I gotta stay. I gotta put my allegiance with the Cowboys because I picked them to win the division early on in the year. So they can't win the division if they lose twice to Philadelphia. I don't think it's gonna happen. So I'm gonna go with the Eagles, but I'm gonna put them on upset alert.
Number one, I don't think DeMarco Murray is as good as he was at the beginning of the season. I think he's taking too many hits and he's starting to slow down. Without that run game, Tony Romo is just lost. Can't win games like that. That's the only reason the spark was ignited at the beginning of the season. I think the Eagles' defense is too good for Dallas in this game. I think that Philadelphia is a very tough place to play. So I just think Philadelphia is going to be too much for these Cowboys. I'm picking Philly.
All right. What was your pick again? I keep Philly. Okay.
Yeah.
Why is everybody
It
picking?
was the franchise.
Nobody cares about no.
Didn't you hear?
No.
Didn't you hear Josh point out that the franchise makes the Eagles better? Didn't you hear it? The one guy that agrees with me. Come on, Josh, give it up. Come on.
No.
Come on.
Anyway. The refs are gonna no. And- I don't want to pick this game.
This is a big divisional game. Pick the game, don't it? Pick the game.
I used to love this rivalry game back when I used to be an Eagles fan because it was so good. But screw it, I'm just gonna go with the Eagles, and if they lose, I'm blaming it on you guys.
All right, so we got Monday Night Football, and we got the New Orleans Saints traveling to Chicago to face off against the Chicago Bears. I got to go with New Orleans here. Chicago's that good at home for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's because they get more boos at home than they do on the road. Probably. That's how bad they've been. So I'm going to have to go with the New Orleans Saints. They're still fighting for their lives in their division. I think they're in second place right now. Maybe. I can't remember off the top of my head. I got it right here. I'll check it real quick. But I think they are fighting. They're definitely fighting for their lives. So they're in second place behind the Falcons because the Falcons hold the tiebreaker because they beat them in head-to-head action. So I think usually I would lean towards the Bears, but the Bears haven't been that good this year, so I gotta lean even more towards the Saints.
Okay, the only reason that I am picking the Bears is New Orleans does not show up against terrible teams. They played awful against Carolina, and Carolina is not good. The Bears aren't good either, but New Orleans is just going to let this one get away from them. I think the Bears are going to take this, and they're going to take it big.
All right. Well, my pick is going to be the Bears. Just because I love saying the Bears. And I don't think New Orleans can beat the Bears. But yeah, so the Bears.
All right, good explanation. There we go. That's what I'm talking about. It's funny, like whenever I pick the Bears, I get made fun of for it. But then, yeah, Casey can pick the Bears and
The Bears.
it can be fine. But thank you guys for coming out because that is the last pick right there. So I want to thank everyone who watched this video. appreciate you. Everybody in the panel tonight, thanks for spending your time to come out here and pick some football, talk about some football, as Josh would say, talk about some football. So it's always a good thing. Closing remarks and shout outs. Casey, you can leave your closing remarks if you'd like.
First of all, the Bears and doubles. Sorry. I'm gonna have to go watch that on YouTube. The super fans, the Bears. But yeah, go follow me on Twitter. It's down there, down there, I think. On my screen, it's showing over here, but for you, it might be over here. I don't know, but it's there, and you can find it. You know, if you need help, go get somebody. Go, they'll help you. They'll help you find it. Go follow me on the Twitter machine. The tweeter, as I like to call it. Send me messages, send me tweets. Tell me about your kids. Tell me about your grandma. I want to know about your family. I want to know about you. I want to know about you. And then I want to know if you have like a hot cousin or sister or something too, because like I'm lonely. But anyway, tune in to our upcoming videos. We have one coming up Sunday. Big show. Not as big as the last night's show, but you know you can't top that. You can't top that. But yeah, tune into the games on Sunday too, and then tune into our picks next week. And see how I dominated and all of my picks win. Next.
All right, Josh, you got any closing remarks?
I'm
Shout outs.
going to give a shout out to Dollar Bill for remembering me after this long time that he's been doing these videos and haven't invited me. And I'm glad to be here. Keep watching. If you're a grandma, I want to meet your granddaughter. Signing out.
Shout out your YouTube channel. You have a YouTube channel if you want to shout that out.
Oh yeah. Subscribe me on YouTube. My name is Joshua Craig Sawyers. I play the guitar and I sing a little bit, so check my videos out.
There you go. There you go. Well, I think you understand who this is. Me. No, I am DJ Bill. Hold your applause, please. Just wait till the end. Just wait till the end. Or just give them to me now. It's fine. I'll take them.
That was a pity
follow
clap.
me at Beast Mode. That was a what?
That was a pity clap.
Actually, that was major applause for the best.
That was a pity applause. I'm sorry.
No, it wasn't. Anyway, feel free to follow me on Twitter if you'd like at BeastMode13100. We can talk about stuff. We can talk about wrestling. We can talk about football. We can talk about basketball. We can talk about hockey. I don't watch a lot of it, but I watch it just for you. But
I won't watch it for you. I won't. I'm sorry. I'm gonna throw it out there. I won't.
he won't do it. So I got you. But shout this out to your friends if you got any NFL friends that like hearing people pick games, because that's what people like to do. So feel free to shout it out. Like Casey said, Sunday TLC review. That's what the big show was. Not WrestleMania 30 or anything of that nature, but just TLC. That's it. Just TLC. TLC review.
Didn't we pass
Next week.
WrestleMania 30? You're late. You're late.
I meant to say 31, but it didn't come out that way. So I just acted like and then I just kept going. So you're supposed to have my back, man. You're supposed to have my back.
I'm gonna go watch NXT or Evolution again, cause oh my god.
Yeah, that was awesome. Go back and watch that, and then come back here and watch the review. Or what you could do, watch the review at the same time you're watching the show. There you go. That's a good idea right there. Feel free to subscribe if you're still here, because if you're still here, you probably want to subscribe so you can keep up with all this good stuff coming at you all the time. Ah! Sorry. See you guys later, though. Talk to you guys later. Peace out.